I don't think I actually made a complete intro, so I might have to put this piece at the beginning. But today we're going to talk about the do's and do nots of relationships. Yay.
Alright. Seen a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of shit. I seen a lot of shit I shouldn't have.
We good? Alright, cool. Alright, so do's and do nots or should nots of a relationship. Now I'm going to be talking from a straight relationship, a straight, like, sexuality wise, straight relationship. But if you are, girl dating girl, guy dating guy, or girl dating guy, whatever you're into, just take whatever I say and kind of imagine it in your kind of area, wherever you are, whether you're straight or gay or bisexual or whatever. I have two main things that I'm only going to talk about that I consider do's and do nots or should nots of relationships. And that is, for one, talking to another person that isn't your spouse and talking to another person that isn't your spouse. Now, quotations around the first, talking to other people, because I mean that in, like, flirting. So, like, giving somebody else that isn't your spouse unreasonable compliments that you shouldn't otherwise say, or you don't otherwise say to your spouse, and you're only giving to one person that isn't your spouse, that shows a little bit more sexual or not so sexual affection towards someone else that isn't who you're with, which is something that you obviously shouldn't do. Not that, I mean, that's, again, this is all my opinion, but it's something that sounds right. It sounds morally right. You don't, shoot off higher affectionate compliments or anything to somebody else and none or a lower amount to your spouse. Now, my spouse, my girlfriend, Kirsten, I tell her she's beautiful all the time, and she always tells me that I'm lying. She thinks I'm being a dork, but I think that, I tell her every day that she's beautiful, and, here's my do's. The do's of a relationship are that you can tell other people that they're attractive, or not that they're attractive, that's bad, but, like, you can tell them that they look nice today. Like, you can say, hey, you look good today. I like, your shirt. I like your shoes, whatever. Like, I like what you're wearing. It looks good on you, That's something that I think is okay. But shooting off an entire affectionate, like, speech off to somebody else that isn't your spouse is not okay, in my opinion. Something that will never, ever be something that, like, stops since the beginning of time, or as far as I'm concerned, that I know of. Men and women, for always, that I've known, will always look at other women or other men, whether you're straight or gay or bi or whatever other sexuality, will look at another person, and if they're visually attractive, then they'll say that person's visually attractive. You can be visually attractive, but have, but not know somebody else's qualities as far as, like, their personality. But, like, like somebody, let's say, use me and Kirsten, for example. Kirsten I think is visually attractive, and she has a lot of nice qualities, and she has a nice personality. Somebody else might be visually attractive, but why throw away what I already have for something that might end up, and it's probably going to end up being something that is not good, that isn't what I like, or isn't what I'm attracted to on a, emotional type level. So they're just visually attractive, and that's about it. I also have a little bit of, like, a side on whether or not, obviously your spouse isn't the only person that you're with. You should also have friends, both female and male. In my opinion, I think it's okay to have a few male friends and a few female friends, as long as you're not bringing it to an extent where you're flirting with one gender or the other, or both. But, I don't know, these are just things that I think about on a regular basis that, well, oddly enough, they're things that I think about on a regular basis, but obviously this series wouldn't have been created if I don't think about these things on a regular basis. I don't know why I think about these things, but that's what makes me unique, that's what makes me a human being, and that's what makes me different from, well, I guess unique means different, but that makes me different from all the other YouTubers. They make things about, playing these games, or a series about this, or talking about your dog, or blah, 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 blah. I make a series about talking about weird things that pop up in my brain that I talk to you guys about. I know it's weird and sometimes it can be boring listening to me talk about these things, but they're things that I like to talk about, and they're things that just kind of pop up in my head, and I'm like, I want to talk to somebody about this, but I also want it to be out in public so that other people can see, or so I can see if other people can like relate to it. So anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling on and end the video here. There's gonna be a lot of the stuff that's gonna get cut out because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be here. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of Time to Speak Your Mind. And I will be back tomorrow, and I'm gonna be talking about some work-related things. I don't know what this is, but work-related things that I think we can all relate to if you've had a job at any point in your life. If you've ever worked for a manager, you're going to relate to this, and if you haven't had a job yet, trust me, you will, and you'll come back and be like, he was right. I know. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see all of you guys tomorrow.